So that's right. So what I just measured now is that my JVC DT-Z1S head shell is 49 millimeters from the back of the head shell to the needle. That's a 49 millimeter distance. So as the pre-mounted ones here, I've got here one just ordered. It was meant to be for a JVC QL-A5 turntable. It is set to 52 millimeter. I just read that that is set for Technics turntables, which is 52. And I'm talking about, if I can just show it here. It's from that breast here where the head shell is mounted into the arm. So that slides into the arm, this part, and then rests up against here to the point of the needle. That is 52 millimeter on this cartridge. This is a new cartridge I bought. So if I would put this on this turntable, it would not be set to the right distance, because that cartridge is 49 millimeters. So there's a 3 millimeter difference, and that apparently is very important. So I gotta readjust this cartridge on this head shell to make it sit there exactly 49 millimeters from that distance, exactly here. And you can see here, when I have the vernier set to 49 millimeter, you can see here, when I put this together, where the distance is between the needle and the vernier. There is a shortness. That the vernier set to 49 millimeter and the head shell set to 52 millimeter. There's 3 millimeters right there. So that's important to know. Only Sony turntables and JVC turntables have this 49 millimeter. All the other turntables apparently are on 52. Well, this is set to Technics specs. So when you buy a new head shell, it is not right to spec if you want to put it on a JVC or a Sony turntable. That's something I just wanted to know. 49 millimeter. That was it. .52 millimeter. I need to go to 49. So I measure the space between the nut and the cutout here left, and it is apparently exactly 3 millimeter. That will bring my cartridges back from 52 millimeter to 49, which is good for JVC. 272 on this one. .297, so that's 3 millimeter. So I can push the screws all the way to the back. This cartridge in this head, and then it should be okay. This is a, let me read it, Audio-Technica VMN95SH. Yes, people, this is a Shibata cartridge, and I'm gonna play with this and see if it makes an improvement to the DT-Z1S cartridge that I have here with regular conical needle. Of course, you would say, oh, that makes a big improvement. There is no comparison. But I had an AT95 cartridge in here, and it was so pale sounding compared to the DT-Z1S, and that was an elliptical needle in there, and it sounded very bland and very flat, no bass whatsoever. There was nothing exciting about that cartridge. An AT95E, that was what I used before. Didn't work. It didn't make an improvement to what I had. So let's see what this is going to do. See, push it all the way back. So this is a microline body, so now you can see I push the screws all the way back, and then if I make a last correction, to measure from the back of the cartridge to the front, that should be 49. And it is. It's 49. It measures 49. Perfect to the needle. 49. So I have installed a mirror behind the counterweight. There. You see there's a mirror right behind there, behind the counterweight. I put an extra wooden strip here, and all I gotta do now is I gotta lock the arm up. There, I lock the arm up. What I should do, let me just take this record off. Before I damage it. So put it away for now. There. And now I can put the light on the platter so I can see. Now what I gotta do now is I want to remove the head shell of the DT-Z1S with the conical needle. Now I have to do that by unscrewing this collar, and I'll hold the head shell while I do that. But I should actually wait first before I do that by first putting the whole weight on 0. So let me just do this for a minute. So I got to turn this 1, 2, that's it, 1, 1.5, 2. Yeah, that's too much because I've set the 1 and an 8. See, it's got a dance neutral. So this is now floating, 1.8 grams. That's where I had this arm set up. So now I'm going to just lock it in place. Now I'm going to take the head off. There. Now I removed the DT-Z1S cartridge and put it here out of the way. I've got my new Shibata Audio-Technica cartridge, screw it in. There. Now I should remove the safety for the needle. And now I gotta find the floating weight or the zero weight for this cartridge. And right now she's sitting down. So this cartridge and head shell is heavier than the original JVC head shell and cartridge. That can affect the sound. So let's go see where we are. That's half a gram. That's 1.5, 2, there it is. Okay, so it's 1.5, a little more than 1.5, 1.6, 1.7. Now she's floating perfectly. So it's 1.7 grams heavier than the head shell of the DT-Z1S. So now we're going to add 2 grams to it. Half, 1, 1.5, 2. That's it. She set the 2 grams. So now I've adjusted this new head shell and needle to the specs of this new configuration. So I'm going to put the record back on, and we're going to see what it does when we play record. What's it going to sound like? So, listening to the Shibata AT95, that's the VNM95SH, the Shibata needle and cartridge from Audio-Technica, I'm convinced to keep that cartridge in my JVC QL-A5 record player. It does a really good job on it. So we have the DT-Z1S with the regular conical needle, the head shell, and the cartridge and needle. They were about on the counterbalance 2 grams lighter. This setup is 2 grams lighter than the Audio-Technica setup. The head shells are heavier, so I have to accommodate for 2 grams to make that even. So I had to put the counterbalance further back in order to make that the proper weight for the needle. So, and then I used the DT-Z1S JVC cartridge on a 1.8 gram load, and I used the Audio-Technica cartridges on 2 grams of load. So that's what I do. Now, I first tried the Audio-Technica, the AT95E elliptical cartridge. I put that in first in the JVC record player, but that was a no-show. The original cartridge, the original old vintage JVC cartridge, the DT-Z1S, outperformed this elliptical needle by far. The AT95E, this one, doesn't produce any bass compared to the DT-Z1S, which is actually a very warm cartridge. This one will produce a very nice warm bass, very deep, very nice. It does lack on mids and highs. It's therefore a very warm sounding cartridge. As the AT95E, the elliptical one, because of the lack of the bass, the mids and the highs are maybe more detailed. They are more detailed on the elliptical needle, but it makes the sound very bland because there's no bass. It's very bland. There's nothing exciting about this cartridge and how it plays. Then I have now the Shibata, the Audio-Technica's 95SH cartridge and needle in the arm right now, and it's a pure joy. It does outperform the original JVC cartridge and conical needle. So it's up to you. I can still buy the needles for the original JVC cartridges. I can buy an elliptical needle and I can buy the conical needle. The conical needle is about $40 and the elliptical needle is $58, $59. And then I can get the Shibata version, which is $500. And I find that a very big jump. As this one here, this cartridge and head shell, was $100, $105, $107. And it would not outperform, in my opinion, the DT-Z1S original JVC cartridge. But this Shibata cartridge here from Audio-Technica is a total different animal altogether. It has really nice highs, really nice detailed mid and low mid, and it's got a really nice bass. It has a tighter bass than the DT-Z1S, but just as nice. It has a nice deep awareness of the bass. It's really nice. So yeah, so that was it.
little bit of it.
See you again.